वैष्णवश्च ये रूपं साग्रजातं सर्वनाथान्वितं तं सतेव साद्वैतं सावधूतं सीतं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधं कृष्णपादां सह गणपतिं शिवशाखाविदांश्च श्रीमदाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतलक्ष्मीतीर्थं वेदान्तस्वामिनां नाम्नि नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी भगवान् प्रचार्य शेषचन्द्र पाश्चात्यं विमुच्यतां देवी चैतन्य ज्ञान श्री अद्भुत श्रीवासादि गौर हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे how's the sound? Is it clear now? Is it good, bad? What is it like? It is.
Clear too.
It's clear. Okay. All right. Bhagavate Vasudevaya, all know Bhagavate Vasudevaya, all know Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 3.26.49 onwards. परस्य दृश्यते धर्मो ह्यः परस्मिन् समन्वयात् अतो विशेषो भावानां भूमाओ वेदोपलक्ष्यते. Since the cause exists in its effect as well, the characteristics of the former are observed in the latter alone. That is why the peculiarities of all elements exist in the earth alone. Moreover, Panchasu Bhuteshu Madhye Yatha Uttaram Guna Adhikya, within the five gross elements, each later one has an additional feature. That is pointed out here. Parasya, Karanasya, Dharma, Shabdaki. Parasya means of the cause. Dharma, that. Dharma, the characteristics. The characteristics of the former means the characteristics of the cause. That means sound, touch, form, taste, smell. अपरस्मिन् कार्ये वायुवादो कारणन्वयात् दृश्यते is found in each quality is found in its own element and in the elements that come after it. तत्र आकाशे अन्वय प्रभावात् एकः एव शब्दः. In Akasha, Shabda is only the matra. Vayu, Vau, Shabda, Sparsha. In Vayu, there is Shabda and Sparsha. Two. In Akasha, only one matra, Shabda. Vayu, two matras, Shabda and Sparsha. Tejasi, Trini. In Tejas, earth, water, fire. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupani. There is sound, there is touch, there is form. Jale, Chatvaraha. In water, there are four. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa. There is sound, touch, form, taste. Very interesting that all of these elements, in fact, the entire material world is defined in terms of the conscious awareness of the living beings. Sound is the cause of the sky. Sky is the cause of the air. Air is the cause of fire. Fire is the cause of water, and water is the cause of earth. In the sky, there is only sound. The air, there are sound and touch. Fire, there are sound, touch, and form. In water, there are sound, touch, form, and taste. And earth, there are sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Therefore, earth is the reservoir of all the qualities of the other elements. Earth is the sum total of all the other elements in this sense that it contains the tanmatras of all the beings in it. The earth has all five qualities of the elements. Water has four qualities, fire has three hands, two, sky has only one quality, sound. वित्तान्यसंहत्य यदा महदादीनि संतवायि कालकर्म क्रोधेको जगदादिरुपाविशन्. When all these elements are unmixed, the Supreme Personality of God, the origin of creation, along with time, work, and qualities of the modes of the universe, entered into the universe with the total material energy in seven dimensions. एवं कारण उत्पत्तिमुक्त्वा कार्य उत्पत्तिमात्रम् having
एतानि तत्त्वानि असंहत्य अमृत्वा यदा स्थितानि तदा जगदादिरीश्वरः प्राविशत्. प्रथमं संहननकारिण्या. What does that mean? प्रथमं संहननकारिण्या शक्त्या सर्वतत्त्वसम्मेलनार्थम् अविशत्. So initially he entered with the potency that unites. The Lord has various potencies for various purposes. So he has a potency which unites various elements. So with that potency, he first of all he entered. Tataha Varshasahasrante, then after 1,000 years, tad antaryamittvena pravishat iti gyeya. Where is that coming from? Is it next? Yes. That must be from the next verse. And then after 1,000 years, as the antaryami of that totality of those elements, he entered into it. Kalaha kshobhakaha karma. Kalaha kshobhakaha. It should be like this. Karma jiva adrishtam. Gunaha prakritihi. Taisahitaha. So he entered with Kala, Karma, and the Gunas. So it means the time factor, which is agitating. Karma refers to karmic reactions, which is in fact the adrishta, the unseen force that brings about happiness and distress for the conditioned souls. Gunaha refers to Prakriti itself. Unless it is Prakriti. Prakriti, yes. Taisahita. Sapteti cha. Pradhanya abhiprayena uktam. He entered with 7. What are these 7? He entered amongst the 7. The 7 are Mahatadini Saptavai. That means Mahatattva, false ego, and the 5 gross elements. That is how it comes to 7 total. This is in consideration of them being the most important amongst all the various elements. Praveshastu sarveshu api vivakshitaha. And he entered into all of them. After stating the generation of the causes, Kapila speaks about the generation of the effects. At that time when the causes were unmixed, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his feature of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu entered within each universe. Accompanying him were all of the 7 primary elements, the 5 material elements, the total energy Mahatattva, and the false ego. This entrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead involves his entering even the atoms of the material world. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.35. Andantarasth, Paramanu Chayantarastham. He is not only within the universe, but within the atoms also. He is within the heart of every living entity. Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, entered into everything. 51. Tatastena vidhibhyo yuktebhyo tam achetanam uthitam purusho yasmad udatishthad dasau virat. From the 7 principles, roused into activity and united by the presence of the Lord, an unintelligent egg arose, from which appeared the celebrated cosmic being. Tena tat praveshena anuvidhebhyah adau shubhitebhyah takshanadev yuktebhyah militebhyah tattvebhyah andam uthitam utpannam. The moment he entered into them, they were agitated. And that very moment, from those elements, the universal egg, it was generated. It arose. Yasmad Virat Purushah Hiranyagarbhatmakah Samashti Jivaha Udatishthal Nidram Iva Atikramya Sachetano Bhavuva. So then the Virat Purusha arose as if after sleep. That Virat Purusha is the Hiranyagarbha, which is the Samashti Jiva, all the conditioned souls within a Brahmanda put together. In sex life, the combination of matter from the parents, which involves emulsification and secretion, creates a situation whereby your soul is received within matter, and the combination of matter gradually develops into a complete body. The same principle exists in the universal creation. The ingredients are present, but only when the Lord enters into the material element is matter actually agitated. That is the cause of creation. We can see this in our ordinary experience. Although we may have clay, water, and fire, the elements take the shape of a brick only when we labor to combine them. Without the living energy, there's no possibility that matter can take shape. Similarly, this material world does not develop unless agitated by the Supreme Lord as a Virat Purusha. Yasmad Udatishtad Asau Virat. Yasmad Udatishtad Asau Virat. So, this Virat Purusha then arose from that combination. By his agitation, space was created and the universal form of the Lord also manifested therein. 52. Etadandam Visheshakyam Kramavriddhair Dashottarai Toyadabhi Parivritam Pradhanena Vritair Bahi Yatra Lokavitanoyam Rupam Bhagavato Hare. This universal egg, or the universe in the shape of an egg, is called the manifestation of material energy. Its layers of water, air, fire, sky, ego, and Mahatattva increase in thickness one after another. Each layer is 10 times bigger than the previous one, and the final outside layer is covered by Pradhana. Within this egg is the universal form of Lord Hari, of whose body the 14 planetary systems are parts. Andamiti, Visheshaha, iti Akhya, Nama, Yasya Tat. This universal egg is known as Vishesha. Dashagunadhikaihi uttarotaraihi bahistita prakriti avaranena avritaihi. And it is covered by the various coverings, each one 10 times bigger than the previous one. Each layer is 10 times bigger than the previous one. This is what? Counting from inside to outside. It appears to be so. Rupam Mayikam. Within this egg is the universal form of Lord Hari. Now, this form is not the Lord's original Satchidananda form. It is a form within this Maya potency. This universe, or the universal sky, which we can visualize with innumerable planets, is shaped just like an egg. As an egg is covered by a shell, the universe is also covered by various layers. The first layer is water. The next is fire, then air, then sky, and the ultimate holding crust is Pradhana. Within this egg-like universe is the universal form of the Lord as the Virat Purusha. All the different planetary situations are parts of his body. This is already explained in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto. The planetary systems are considered to form different bodily parts of the universal form of the Lord. Persons who cannot directly engage in the worship of the transcendental form of the Lord are advised to think of and worship this universal form. The lowest planetary system, Patala, is considered to be the soul, the base of the foot, soul of the Supreme Lord. And the earth is considered to be the belly of the Lord. Brahmaloka, or the highest planetary system where Brahma lives, is considered to be the head of the Lord. This Virat Purusha is considered an incarnation of the Lord. The original form of the Lord is Krishna, as confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Adi Purusha. The Virat Purusha is also Purusha. So here in this context, the Virat Purusha is the Antaryami of the Brahmanda. But he is not Adi Purusha. The Adi Purusha is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadar Govinda Anadar Govinda. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is also accepted as Adi Purusha, the original. Krishna says, no one is greater than me. There are innumerable expansions of the Lord, and all of them are Purushas or enjoyers. But neither the Virat Purusha nor the Purushavatas, Karno Vishai Vishnu, Garbhuta Vishai Vishnu, Shiro Vishai Vishnu, nor any of the many other expansions is the original. In each universe, there are Garbhuta Vishai Vishnu, the Virat Purusha, and Shiro Vishai Vishnu. The active manifestation of the Virat Purusha is described here. Persons who are in the lower grade of understanding regarding the Supreme Personality of Godhead may think of the universal form of the Lord, for that is advised in the Bhagavatam. The dimensions of the universe are estimated here. The outer covering is made of layers of water, air, fire, sky, ego, and Mahatattva, and each layer is 10 times greater than the one previous. The space within the hollow of the universe cannot be measured by any human scientist or anyone else. And beyond the hollow, there are 7 coverings, each one 10 times greater than the one preceding. The layer of water is 10 times greater than the diameter of the universe. And the layer of fire is 10 times greater than that of water. Similarly, the layer of air is 10 times greater than that of fire. These dimensions are all inconceivable to the tiny brain of a human being. It is also stated that this description is of only one egg-like universe. There are innumerable universes besides this one, and some of them are many, many times greater. It is considered, in fact, that this universe is the smallest. Therefore, the predominating superintendent or Brahma has only 4 heads for management. In other universes, which are far greater than this one, Brahma has more heads. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is stated that all these Brahmas were called one day by Lord Krishna on the inquiry of the small Brahma, who, after seeing all the larger Brahmas, was thunderstruck. It is the inconceivable potency of the Lord. No one can measure the length and breadth of God by speculation or by false identification with God. These attempts are symptoms of lunacy. Lunacy means madness. 53. Hiranmaya Dandakosha Uthaya Salale Shaya Tam Avishya Mahadevo Bahuda Nirbibhedakham. The Supreme Personality of God, the Virat Purusha, situated himself in that golden egg which was lying on the water, and he divided it into many departments. Tasmin Adhyatmadivhagamaha Hiranmayaditi. And then it was divided into Adhyatma, Adhidaiva, Adhibhuta, Adhibhuta, and so on. Avishya, Adhisthaya. What is this? Adhisthaya. What is it? Adhisthaya. 53. Adhisthaya, or Adhisthaya. Mahanscha asau devaha cha bahuvidham kham chidram nirbibheda. Pratak pratak chakara. So he situated himself inside that golden Brahmanda, and it divided into many. 54. Nirabhidyatasya prathamam mukham vani tato bhavat. Vanyavahne ratho nase pranoto ghrana etayo. First of all, a mouth appeared in him. And then came forth the organ of speech, and with it the god of fire, the deity who presides over that organ. Then a pair of nostrils appeared, and in them appeared the olfactory sense as well as prana, the vital air. Vanyasaha vaknihi abhavat pravishyat. So a mouth appeared in him means a mouth entered. Fire entered along with Vani. Vanyasaha vaknihi. So with the organ of speech appeared the god of fire. Na se nirbhadyotam pranotaha. What is the nirbhadyotam? Nirbhadyata otam pranotaha. Something is wrong with this. What is this verse? 54. Nirbhadyetam. Pranotah. Pranena syutah. Syutah. Sun, prana. Sun, grana, not prana. Then a pair of nostrils. They entered. Then the sense of organ, which is interwoven with the life airs, that entered. एतयो नासयोः अभवद् इति अनुषङ्गः प्राणोत इति विशेषणं सर्वेन्द्रियेषु लिङ्गविपरिणामेन द्रष्टव्यम्. Okay, that's a grammatical note. With the manifestation of speech, fire also became manifested. And with the manifestation of nostrils, the vital air, the breathing process, and the sense of smell also became manifested. 55. Yes.
So when you said that mouth appeared, so where does the mouth appear and all these other things?
See, this is my current understanding. When it says that the universal form develops all of these features, it is some kind of prototype. Because before you inject the living entities into bodies, those forms need to be created, recreated. Because creation always means the recreation and dissolution always means a redissolution. But there's a process for it. So it appears to me that the various species of life, all of their sense organs are now being created in totality in a prototype form.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Because then after this only Brahma has to create. Now Brahma has to look at this prototype and then make them into gross format. So this is what occurs to me. This description comes in the Vedas itself. Purusha Sukta, it comes in Bhagavatam a few times. So definitely there is some meaning to it, why it is presented. That too, it's presented in a certain sequence also. After when we go through it, it'll become clear. Previously, these things were obvious to those in Vedic culture. But even the nature of the elements we are only understanding now. Because they had a totally different perspective to everything. Anyway, let's go through it and then it'll become clearer. 55. Granadvayur abhidyetam. Akshini chakshusho chakshuretayo. Tasmat suryo nyabhidyetam. Karno shrotram tatho dishaha. In the wake of the olfactory sense, olfactory sense means the sense of smell, came the wind god who presides over that sense. Thereafter, a pair of eyes appeared in the universal form, and in them, the sense of sight. In the wake of this sense came the sun god who presides over it. Next, there appeared in him a pair of ears, and in them the auditory sense, and in its wake the Digdevatas, or the deities who preside over the directions. Ghranadhanantaram Vayuravishat. After the sense of smell, Vayu entered. So it appears that these presiding deities enter into those particular senses in order to ensure that they all function. See, generally, we have the idea that everything inside the material world follows nature. So we tend to think that Prakriti somehow makes an arrangement. But Prakriti has a very intricate, complicated arrangement with a whole hierarchy. So there is Vayu who takes charge of the sense of smell. Evam agrepi panchamyantana tadanantaram iti vyakhya gyeya. Suryaha anubhidyetam nyabhidyetam iti pathandvaya. So everywhere the particular deity presides over a particular sense. The appearance of different bodily parts of the Lord's universal form and the appearance of the presiding deities of those bodily parts is being described. In the womb of a mother, a child gradually grows different bodily parts. So, in the universal womb, the universal form of the Lord gives rise to the creation of various paraphernalia. The senses appear, and over each of them, there is a presiding deity. It is corroborated by this statement of Srimad Bhagavatam and also by Brahma Samhita. The sun appeared after the appearance of the eyes of the universal form of the Lord. The sun is dependent on the eyes of the universal form. The Brahma Samhita also says that the sun is the eye of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Chakshuresha Savita. Savita means the sun. The sun is the eye of the Supreme Personality of God. Actually, everything is created by the universal body of the Supreme Godhead. Material nature is simply the supplier of materials. The creation is actually done by the Supreme Lord as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.10. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate satcharacharam. Under my direction, does material nature create all moving and non-moving objects in the cosmic creation. 56. Nirbibheda virajastvam romashmashruadayastataha tatah oshadayaschasan shishnam nirbibhide tataha. Then the universal form of the Lord, the Virat Purusha, manifested his skin, and thereupon the hair, mustache, and beard appeared. After this, all the herbs and drugs became manifested, and then his genitals also appeared. The skin is the site of the touch sensation. The demigods who control the production of herbs and medicinal drugs are the deities presiding over the tactile sense. 57. Yes.
So the demigod, the creation of demigods was after Brahma, no? So the sun god and these demigods are entering the senses. So they are not those demigods, no? Some other demigods.
Right now, what has happened? Brahma is already there now. Or is this a flashback? It does not appear to be a flashback. This appears to be the sequence.
It appears sequence. So Brahma's appearance is being told already. So.
The whole thing should be analyzed and put out in sequence in a separate book. It will be useful for everyone. Because we are all educated or miseducated in the modern world in a totally different way. So for us, even these things appear very puzzling.
So we also read that the prayers by elemental demigods. So there were some demigods who were created before these demigods. So
they are the Tattvika Devas, the elemental demigods. They were the 24, I think, 23 or 24.
Yes, 24 years.
One thing comes to my mind that for these things, a thorough study of various commentaries on Bhagavatam would be very useful for these sections to understand what is happening. Anyway, let's proceed with this. रेतस्तस्माद् आपासन् निरभिद्यत वैकुदं गुदाद अपानोपना गुदाद अपानोपानाच्च मृत्युर्लोकभयङ्करः. After this, semen, the faculty of procreation, and the god who presides over the waters appear. Next appears an anus, and then the organs of defecation, and thereupon the god of death, who is feared throughout the universe. It is understood herewith that the faculty to discharge semen is the cause of death. Therefore, yogis and transcendentalists who want to live for greater spans of life voluntarily restrain themselves from discharging semen. Some close relationship is there between semen and the god who presides over the waters and the anus and the god of death. The more one can restrain the discharge of semen, the more one can be aloof from the problem of death. There are many yogis living up to 300 or 700 years by this process, and in the Bhagavatam it is clearly stated that discharging semen is the cause of horrible death. The more one is addicted to sexual enjoyment, the more susceptible he is to quick death. So great happiness, great unhappiness. 58. Hastauchin.
In the previous sloka, Prabhu, it is written, the more one can restrain the discharge of semen, the more one can be aloof from the problem of death. So what is the meaning of here? Aloof from the problem of death means?
That he explains in the next sentence. There are many yogis living up to 300 or 700 years by this process.
So is it also for Bhakti Yogi?
What?
We don't see any of Acharya living for more years.
Okay, but they are not practicing Ashtanga Yoga.
So this is not for Bhakti Yogis.
What is not for Bhakti Yogis?
They are living for...
Why would a Bhakti Yogi want to live 700 years?
for preaching, maybe.
You can preach in next life also. What's the big deal?
But again, he has to take birth, again, pass through the childhood life. Again, he has to take education.
So
that is the problem.
if there is a problem, recognizing all of this is a problem, he wants to get out as soon as possible now. Why he wants to be here for 700 years?
No, for the purpose of others.
First you have to save yourself, then you think about saving others. If you are going to be bewildered by Maya in your next life, that means you're just a conditioned soul who's struggling to come out. So that's all. Your level of preaching is only that much. You just do that. Preaching is your duty. Do your duty and then progress. That is meant to be your passion. 58. Hastaucha nirabhidyetam balam tabhyam tataswarat padaucha nirabhidyetam gatistabhyam tato harihi. Thereafter, the two hands of the universal form of the Lord became manifested, and with them the power of grasping and dropping things. And after that, Lord Indra appeared. Next, the legs became manifested, and with them the process of movement. And after that, Lord Vishnu appeared. Swarat Indraha. Here the word Swarat refers to Lord Indra. Harihi. Harina avishtaha deva vishesha iti sandarbhaha. According to Brahma Sandarbha, Lord Hari here refers to a demigod who is empowered by Lord Hari. The deity presiding over the hands is Indra. The presiding deity of movement is the supreme personality of Godhead Vishnu. Vishnu appeared on the appearance of the legs of the Virat Purusha. This is another demigod who is empowered by Lord Vishnu. Look at this, for instance. Madhvacharya is also quoted. Yajnanamato devopi vigyeya pada devata. There's a demigod named Yagya, and he should be understood. He should also be understood to be the Pada Devata, the demigod for controlling the feet. Tadavishto Harihi Nityam Tamahu Pada Devatam. Lord Hari has empowered him. And therefore, Lord Hari is said to be the deity controlling the feet. '59. Nadyosya nirbhidyantan tabhyo lohitam abhritam nadyastatah samabhavan udaram nirbhidyata. The veins of the universal body became manifested, and thereafter the red corpuscles or blood. In their wake came the rivers, the deities presiding over the veins, and then appeared an abdomen. Lohitam, Raktadi Sancharakam. Indriyam Abhutam Jata. These are all incorporated in synonyms and translation. Blood veins are compared to rivers. When the veins were manifested in the universal form, the rivers in the various planets were also manifested. The controlling deity of the rivers is also the controlling deity of the nervous system. In Ayurvedic treatment, those who are suffering from the disease of nervous instability are recommended to take a bath by dipping into a flowing river. 60. Shukpipase tatah syatam samudraspetayorabhut athasya hridayam bhinnam hridayan mana utthitam. Next grew feelings of hunger and thirst, and in their wake came the manifestation of the oceans. Then a heart became manifest, and in the wake of the heart, the mind appeared. The ocean is considered to be the presiding deity of the abdomen, where the feelings of hunger and thirst originate. When there is irregularity in hunger and thirst, one is advised, according to Ayurvedic treatment, to take a bath in the ocean. 61. Manasas Chandrama Jato Buddhir Buddhir Giram Patihi Ahankaras Tato Rudras Chittam Chaityas Tato Bhavat. After the mind, the moon appeared. Intelligence appeared next. And after intelligence, Lord Brahma appeared. Then the false ego appeared. And then Lord Shiva. And after the appearance of Lord Shiva came consciousness and the deity presiding over consciousness. Hridaya eva manaha adi antahkarana chatushtayasya adhishtanam. The heart is the location for the four internal senses, beginning with the mind. Girampatihi Brahma. The Lord of speech is Brahma. Chaityaha chitta adhisthata vasudevaha sa iva chitte upasya devata cha. Chaityaha. What is Chaitya? Chittam Chaityas. Chaitya. The deity presiding over consciousness is Lord Vasudeva. He himself is meant to be worshipped as the deity sustaining the chitta. So eva samashti jivasya hiranya garbhasya pradyumna venantaryam. And he himself is the antaryami of the totality of the jivas, the hiranya garbha, in the form of pradyumna. Sa eva vyashti jivana aniruddha venantaryami iti bhagavatamrita dhyayam. And it can be understood from Laghu Bhagavatamrita that he himself is the Antaryami, inner ruler of each individual jiva in the form of Aniruddha. Natu chitta adhisthata kshetragyaha jiva iti vakyaha. One should not say, one should not conclude that the person who presides over consciousness is actually the Kshetragya, the Jivatma himself. Tasya kartrutva karanattvadi abhavasya sarvatra pratipadhitatvat. Because everywhere it has been established, everywhere in the scriptures it has been established, everywhere in the Bhagavatam it has been established that he is not the cause or the effect and so on in this entire process of creation. Acharya Chaitya Vapusha Swagatim Yanakti Ityado Api Chaitya Shabdena Antaryaminam tu Chitta Upadhetvadeva Natu Chitta Adhishthatritvad Iti Geyam. And in 11.29.6, we come across this statement of Uddhava, famous statement, that you reveal the pathway towards you in the form of the Acharya and Chaitya. So here also, Acharya refers to the spiritual master, and Chaitya, it refers to the inner controller of the living entity himself, who has accepted the Chitta as his Upadhi. Natu Chitta Adhishtatritvad. And that is not because he is the superintendent deity of the Chitta. Okay, fine. What?
Prabhu, I was asking that all these various organs which are now developing in Virat Purusha, this will be possessed only by human species or by all the material bodies from ant to Brahmaji?
All of them will be modified as appropriate.
Okay.
Prototype is for human beings.
And for other species, it may change.
Naturally, the placement of the senses would be different and so on.
So that doesn't need a prototype. Brahmaji doesn't need any help or inspiration.
I think that those instructions would be given directly to Brahma. This much is revealed to us, to the general public. We are the general public. So for us, it is told. Is Virat Purusha now? Purusha itself indicates that the prototype is human. We do acknowledge human exceptionalism. It's not that the Christians, they criticize, saying that why do you say that all the different species of life are the same? How can you say these things? Human being is special. We accept that also. Bhagavata certainly accepts that human being is special. Human being is a prototype. Correct. We acknowledge that.
Oh, I have a doubt here that actually Brahma is appearing means Lord Brahma is appearing here, or is presiding deity is appearing?
Brahma is appearing means Brahma enters into it. Here all appearing means the deity is entering into that particular sense. Entering into the sense means he takes charge of controlling that on the order of Lord Vishnu.
Okay, then goodness, the mode of goodness would be entered by Vishnu. No, here it is mentioned in God.
Well, after the moon appeared.
The moon god is the mode of goodness.
He is in the mode of goodness.
And Brahma is for passion.
That's okay. We haven't even read. Let's read this now. Then we'll understand it clearly. The moon appeared after. Yes.
Prabhu, in verse 60, in purport, like it is said, Ayurvedic treatment for hunger, irregular hunger is ocean bath. So there will be, I'm just asking, there should be some alternatives also for this, because not everyone is living close to ocean.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. I just want to clarify.
For that, you have to ask an Ayurvedic doctor.
You can take bath in Pukur.
Take bath in Pukur, and that I don't know. Clearly says Samudraha. There would be something for them. The moon appeared after the appearance of mind, and this indicates that the moon is a presiding deity of mind. Similarly, Lord Brahma, appearing after intelligence, is a presiding deity of intelligence. And Lord Shiva, who appears after false ego, is a presiding deity of false ego. In other words, it is indicated that the moon god is in the mode of goodness, whereas Lord Brahma is in the mode of passion, and Lord Shiva is in the mode of ignorance. So, what is your question?
That moon god is in mode of goodness.
Yes.
Why moon god is representing it? It should be Vishnu. No.
No. This is only in terms of mind. Only the mind is created from false ego in goodness. Intelligence is created by false ego in passion. False ego itself is in ignorance when it is manifested within for each individual living entities. So therefore, particular demigods are given charge of it. Lord Vishnu is overall in charge of goodness. This is only talking about mind. The appearance of consciousness after the appearance of false ego indicates that from the beginning, material consciousness is under the mode of ignorance, and that one therefore has to purify himself by purifying his consciousness. This purificatory process is called Krishna consciousness. As soon as the consciousness is purified, the false ego disappears. Identification of the body with the self is called false identification or false ego. Lord Chaitanya confirms this in his Shikshashtaka. He states that the first result of chanting the Mahamantra Hare Krishna is that dirt is cleared from the consciousness or the mirror of the mind. And then at once, the blazing fire of material existence is over. The blazing fire of material existence is due to false ego, but as soon as the false ego is removed, one can understand his real identity. At that point, he's actually liberated from the clutches of Maya. As soon as one is freed from the clutches of false ego, his intelligence also becomes purified. And then his mind is always engaged upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared on the full moon day as Gaurachandra, or the spotless transcendental moon. The material moon has spots on it, but on the transcendental moon Gaurachandra, there are no spots. Okay. In order to fix the purified mind in the service of the Supreme Lord, one has to worship the spotless moon, Gaurachandra. Those who are materially passionate or those who want to exhibit their intelligence for material advancement in life are generally worshippers of Lord Brahma. And persons who are in the gross ignorance of identifying with the body worship Lord Shiva. Materialists like Hiranyakashipu and Ravana are worshippers of Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. But Prahlad and other devotees in the service of Krishna consciousness worship the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. 62. Ete hyabhyuttha deva naivasyothapane shakan punaravi vishukhani tam utthapayitum kramat. So all of this is 62. It should be 62 to 69. When the demigods and presiding deities of the various senses were thus manifested, they wanted to wake their origin of appearance. But upon failing to do so, they re-entered the body of the Virat Purusha one after another in order to wake him. अन्वय व्यतिरेकाभ्याम अंतर्यामिन एव सर्वशक्तिमत्वं दर्शयितुमुक्तमेव प्रवेशम सर्वेषामेव पुनराह. Both directly and indirectly, the inner controller, the antaryami, he alone is the possessor of all potencies. In order to show this, he repeats what was already stated before in order to emphasize this and reveal this fact. In order to wake the sleeping deity controller within, one has to rechannel the sense activities from concentration on the outside to concentration inside. In the following verses, the sense activities which are required to wake the Virat Purusha will be explained very nicely. 63. Vakhnirvacha mukhambhe jaye nodatisht tada virat, ghranena nasike vayur nodatishtat tada virat. Here it's the god of fire entered his mouth with the organ of speech, but the Virat Purusha could not be aroused. When the god of wind entered his nostrils with the sense of smell, but still, and then the god of wind entered his nostrils with the sense of smell, but still the Virat Purusha refused to be awakened. 64. Akshini chakshadityo nodadishtat tada virat, shrotrena karnau disho nodadishtat tada virat. The sun god entered the eyes of the Virat Purusha with the sense of sight, but still the Virat Purusha did not get up. Similarly, the predominating deities of the directions entered through his ears with the sense of hearing, but still he did not get up. 65. Tvacham Roma Phiroshadhyo Nodadishtat Tada Virat, Retasa Shishnamapastu Nodadishtat Tada Virat. The predominating deities of the skin, herbs, and seasoning plants entered the skin of the Virat Purusha with the hair of the body, but the cosmic being refused to get up even then. The god predominating over water entered his organ of generation with the faculty of procreation, but the Virat Purusha still would not rise. 66. Gudam mrityo rapanena nodatishtat tada virat, hastavindro balena eva nodatishtat tada virat. The god of death entered his anus with the organ of defecation, but the Virat Purusha could not be spurred to activity. The god Indra entered the hands with their power of grasping and dropping things, but the Virat Purusha could not get up even then. Vishnu Gatyaiva Charanau Nodatishtat Tada Virat, Nadir Nadyo Lohitena Nodatishtat Tada Virat. Lord Vishnu entered with his feet with the faculty of locomotion, but the Virat Purusha refused to stand up even then. So here Lord Vishnu refers to that demigod who is empowered by Lord Vishnu. The rivers entered his blood vessels with the blood and the power of circulation, but still the cosmic being could not be made to stir.
Who is that demigod, Lord Vishnu?
His name is a demigod named Yagya.
He is not the original name.
He's what?
Lord
He's a
Vishnu.
demigod.
Lord Vishnu is also a demigod.
No, Lord Vishnu is the supreme personality of God. Lord Vishnu is not a post. That is a post. But he's empowered by Vishnu. 68. Shutridhya mudaram sindhur nodadishtat tada virat, hridayam manasa chandro nodadishtat tada virat. The ocean entered his abdomen with hunger and thirst, but the cosmic being refused to rise even then. The moon god entered his heart with the mind, but the cosmic being would not be roused. 69. Buddhya brahmapi hridayam nodadishtat tada virat, rudrobhimatya hridayam nodadishtat tada virat. Brahma also entered his heart with intelligence, but even then the cosmic being could not be prevailed upon to get up. Lord Rudra also entered his heart with the ego, but even then the cosmic being did not stir. So the point is, this is simply a repetition of what was stated before, but at each point, it is pointed out that Hiranyagarbha was not activated. It was only activated later. He could have simply stated that he was activated later. But he's pointing out repeatedly that none of these deities could activate the universe. So many times, how many times? It is 63 to 69 means it was on 7 plus 14 times it is being said. 70. Chittena hridayam chaitya kshetragyah pravishad yada virat daiva purusha salilad udatishtapta. However, when the inner controller, the deity presiding over consciousness, entered the heart with reason, at that very moment the cosmic being arose from the causal waters.
Who is the inner control here?
The inner controller, Antaryami, always refers to Lord Vishnu. Antaryami. Chaityo Vasudeva Saiva Kshetragyaha Antaryami. Chaitya refers to the deity presiding over consciousness. This is Lord Vasudeva. He himself is the knower of the field. He is the ultimate Kshetrajna, Sarva Kshetrajna, Samashti Kshetrajna. He is not just a Vyashti Kshetrajna. The Jivatmas are Vyashti Kshetrajnas. I am aware of my body alone. But the Paramatma is aware of all the bodies of all the conditioned souls in all the universes. Antaryami. He is the Antaryami, inner controller. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarvakshetreshu avastitaha iti gitoktehe. Right.
So this Virat Purusha, Prabhu, it is temporary. Prabhupada mentions, no?
The universe is temporary.
So this form is also temporary.
He is inside this form only, so it's temporary. Kshetragyeshu avastitam iti gitoktehe. It looks like there's a variant reading here. Okay, then 71. यथा प्रसुप्तं पुरुषं प्राणेन्द्रियमनोधीय प्रभवन्ति विनायेन नोत्थापयितुमोजसा. When a man is sleeping, all his material assets, namely the vital energy, the senses for recording knowledge, the senses for working, the mind and the intelligence cannot arouse him. He can be aroused only when the super soul helps him. Samashti virat dehasya yashti deham drishtantayati tatha iti. As an example for the totality of all the bodies. This is the universal body itself. To help us understand that, he gives an example of an individual body. येन चित्त अधिष्ठात्रा परमेश्वरेण विना प्रसुप्तं व्यष्टिं यथा उत्थापयितुं न शक्नुवन्ति तथैव येन विना समष्टि विराडपि नोदतिष्ठत् इति पूर्वेण अन्वयः. Just as a man can be woken up only when the presiding deity of his consciousness, that means the Supreme Lord himself, activates that, brings that endeavor into fruition, makes it successful. Similarly, the universe itself becomes alive only when Lord Vishnu, who is in charge of Chitta, Lord Vasudeva, he himself empowers. The explanation of Sankhya philosophy is described here in detail in the sense that the Virat Purusha, or the universal form of the Supreme Personality of God, is the original source of all the various sense organs and their presiding deities. The relationship between the Virat Purusha and the presiding deities or the living entities is so intricate that simply by exercising the sense organs which are related to their presiding deities, the Virat Purusha cannot be aroused. It is not possible to arouse the Virat Purusha or to link with the Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead by material activities. Only by devotion, service, and detachment can one perform the process of linking with the Absolute. 72. तमस्मिन् प्रत्यगात्मानं धिया योग प्रवृत्तया भक्त्या विरक्त्या ज्ञानेन विविच्यात्मनि चिन्तयेत्. Therefore, through devotion, detachment, and advancement in spiritual knowledge acquired through concentrated devotion service, one should contemplate that super soul as present in this very body, although simultaneously apart from it. Sankhyanukathanasya prayojanam. Now, the reason for having enumerated all these details is spelled out here. Tam pratyagatmanam pratyag jnanagamyam tasmin karya karana sanghate atmani dehe jivatmani eva chintayet. So that Supreme Lord himself is the soul within. Let me read out the Anvaya of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktya viraktya jnanena iti prathamam ishvare bhaktihi tataha anyatra viraktihi tataha ishvara anubhava rupam jnanam. Here, bhaktya viraktya jnanena indicates that first of all, one executes bhakti for the Lord, and then afterwards one develops virakti or detachment and renunciation from everything and everyone other than the Lord. And then one attains knowledge in the form of direct experience of the Supreme Lord. Yoga pravrittayadhya bhakti yogena pravrittena ekagrena chittena yat jnanam तेन अस्मिन् आत्मनि शुद्धं मनसि तं प्रत्यग आत्मानं स्वप्रकाश भगवत स्वरूपं विविच्य चिन्तये. And then with intelligence, which means with intelligence that comes about by the engagement of yoga, that means with knowledge that comes about by focused engagement in bhakti yoga, one must distinguish the self-effulgent Supreme Personality of Godhead from the pure mind. You should meditate on him as being in one's pure mind. अतः प्रथमे परमेश्वरे भक्ति तज्जनित इतर विषये विरक्ति और ज्ञान ताहा होइते एकाग्र चित्त एवं ताहा होइते जे ज्ञान ताहा द्वारा এই শুদ্ধান্তঃকরণে ভগবত স্বরূপ বিচার পূর্বক চিন্তা করিবে. So first of all, one develops devotion to the Supreme Lord, and then from that virakti towards everything and everyone else, then realized knowledge from which one's consciousness becomes one-pointed, ekagra chitta. From this further realization, from that one is able to clearly analyze the nature of Bhagavan as being situated in his pure internal sense organs. Then one should meditate on him. Atmani can also indicate the body. One should meditate on the Supreme Lord as being present in the body. Yes, the body refers to the combination of the various material causes and material effects. One can also meditate on him as being within the Jivatma. One can realize the super soul within oneself. He is within one's body, but apart from the body or transcendental to the body. Although sitting in the same body as an individual soul, the super soul has no affection for the body, whereas the individual soul does. Therefore, one has to detach himself from this material body by discharging devotion service. It is clearly mentioned here, Bhaktya, that one has to execute devotion service to the Supreme, as it is stated in the first canto, second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.7. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha. When Vasudeva, the all-pervading Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is served in completely pure devotion, detachment from the material world immediately begins. The purpose of Sankhya is to detach oneself from material contamination. This can be achieved simply by devotion service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah, we're able to hear.
What? You cannot hear?
No, we can hear.
We're only able to hear up to therefore one has to detach himself.
No, I think I heard everything. Achitana
Yes,
Prabhu, what did you hear?
Yes, Prabhu, it is continuous.
Can also hear everything.
Okay. This can be achieved simply by devotion service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When one is detached from the attraction of material prosperity, one can actually concentrate his mind upon the Super Soul. As long as the mind is distracted towards the material, there is no possibility of concentrating one's mind and intelligence upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead or as partial representation, Super Soul. In other words, one cannot concentrate one's mind and energy upon the Supreme unless one is detached from the material world. Following detachment from the material world, one can actually attain transcendental knowledge of the absolute truth. As long as one is entangled in sense enjoyment or material enjoyment, it is not possible to understand the absolute truth. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18.54. One who is freed from material contamination is joyful and can enter into devotion service, and by devotion service he can be liberated. In the Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, it is stated that one becomes joyful by discharging devotional service. In the joyful attitude, one can understand the signs of God or Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it is not possible. The analytical study of the elements of material nature and the concentration of the mind upon the super soul are the sum and substance of the Sankhya philosophical system. The perfection of this Sankhya, every 5 seconds we are disturbed by some materialistic thought. More or less come to a peaceful life. If we are disturbed every 5 hours by a materialistic thought, that is okay. That's at least understandable. And then the more peaceful we become, then materialistic thoughts only come with much lesser frequency. That much we should be able to directly verify and perceive. Otherwise, what preaching will do, all the people that we are preaching to will say, I'm far better than you. So this kind of bogus preaching is not going to work. Vichar, Achar, Prachar have to progress all at the same pariman, same proportion. Okay, chapter 27, understanding material nature. 1. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Prakritistopi Purusho, Najyate Prakritair Gunai. Avikarad Akartrikwan Nirgunatva Jalarkavat. The personality of Godhead, Kapila, continued. When the living entity is thus unaffected by the modes of material nature, because he is unchanging and does not claim proprietorship, he remains apart from the reactions of the modes, although abiding in a material body, just as the sun remains aloof from its reflection on water. Sarartha Darshini. Saptavimshe Bhakti-mishra Jnana Sadhana Vistritte Tum Prakrit Yor Vivekachya Mokshariti Udhiriyate. So now chapter 27 is going to elaborate on the sadhana of Bhakti-mishra Jnana. Bhakti-mishra Jnana, Bhakti always refers to Vishnu Bhakti. Vishnu Bhakti-mishra Jnana. And so this chapter is going to elaborate on this. And in this chapter, the method of attaining liberation by distinguishing between the Purusha and Prakriti will be present. Viveka Jnanena Moksham Upapadayitum Jivatmanam Prakritehe Vivittena Darshayat. In order to point out that liberation comes about by discriminating knowledge. Lord Kapila, first of all, distinctly, first of all, he points out that the Jivatma is distinct from Prakriti. Prakriti-sthopi Purushaha Jivaha Sushupti Pralayayoho Nirgunatva Akartritvam. Though the Purusha, here the Purusha refers to the Jivatma. Though the Jivatma is situated in Prakriti, he is beyond the modes of material nature at the time of Sushupti and Pralaya. Therefore, he is described to be an Akarta. He is stated to be a non-doer. Tatha vikaritvam tasmadhetor na ajyate. So therefore, factually speaking, he is untransformed. So therefore, factually speaking, he is not affected. Jalarkavat, Jalastaha Surya Mandala Kiranaiva. He is like the sun on water. That means, just like a ray that comes from the Surya Mandala, the sun globe that is situated in water. Now, Vasutaha Jaladharma Akrantaha. So that sun ray is not overcome by the properties of water. Yadahi pavana nibandhanaha jalasya kampaha syat. When the water trembles or shakes because of the wind, tada tad anugatasya jalarkasya api kampaha syat. Then the sun ray that is reflected in the water, that also will tremble. Yaduktam, as it is stated in 10.1.43. Jyotir yathaivo dagaparthive shwadah samira veganugatam vibhavyate. Iti. So this is directly stated in 10th canto, first chapter. Ateva manasaha samyak shuddhau satyam tvam padartha vishuddhyati iti. So when the mind becomes completely purified, then the meaning of tvam is also purely realized. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Bandha mokshayo. Because the Shastra says that the mind itself is the reason for the conditioned status and liberation of the living entity. Okay, purport we'll read in the next session. We'll stop with that.
Oh, regarding the sense enjoyment, Mahaprabhu says that bhalo na khaiba, bhalo na. And somewhere Prabhupada is writing that variety is the mother of enjoyment.
Correct.
So which one we should take?
Variety is the mother of enjoyment. Therefore, we should not enjoy this world.
Therefore, we should not enjoy.
Why we should enjoy this world? We are trying to get out of this world. Karanam guna sangosya satasadyoni janmasu. The more we want to enjoy this world, if we simply decide to enjoy this world, we are stuck in good or bad species of life.
Prabhu,
Yes.
just a follow up of that last line which you said a few minutes before regarding becoming peaceful and reduction of disturbance from materialistic thoughts. So this routine life or the program or the schedule which Prabhupada has given, the aim of this is to make us more peaceful.
Yes.
Means just by doing that it will happen, or there is some more details to it?
First of all, abhyasa, then vairagya. We accept routine. You see, the jnanis, yogis, bhaktas in jnana yoga, in ashtanga yoga, and in bhakti yoga, we are meant to have a routine. Both that as well as vairagya. Then it works. Okay?
Routine means.
Okay.
Routine means that's why we have the acharya who specifies what the routine should be. Prabhupada has already given us a routine.
The daily.
Yeah. Okay. Anshaya Padurvyashki Vasantabhya Vachapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.